youth in terms of sustainable development. Now, because I come from finance background, I would keep the session slightly towards the contribution of youth, related to finance and enhancing the economy of the country, not just the country, but on a global aspect as well. Starting with I think there are a few people joining in. So Jazid, I'll leave this to you, allowing people in or out. I believe you can manage that at your end.
All right, sir. Yes, yes, I can manage it.
Sure, sure, sure. So now, if basically we look at India as an economy, and then I'll come down to global aspect of things as well. We are looking at a country which is touching close to about 6 trillion economy in the next 6 to 7 years, wherein we were about 12th on the list of per capita income, where we have now crossed France and reached on the third position on the top countries. That is not because of the money the country is growing. I think that's because of the youth taking interest in the businesses, and further, have a, preference towards creating wealth. I myself, sort of had an option of either joining a traditional business family where I come from, or let's say getting into a job where I would be contributing little, but it was to my satisfaction. I could have settled with that, but then I thought that it's my responsibility to sort of contribute slightly more than that, and further enhance my financial independence along with my family. So we started a platform where we get investors to invest, and typically the people who we cater to are in the age bracket of about 25 to 35 years old, which technically is what a youth in this country is referred to, with that age bracket. Now, the way that I think, you guys or as a community, we whole can look at sustainable development is planning things. Number one, and the uttermost important thing that we sort of see is having a plan on where we want to lead or where we want to reach, and then subsequently working towards that direction. The way that so I basically am sitting out of Bangalore, which is right now the startup boom, or the startup capital of India. Wherever I go, I mean, if I talk to random people here on the streets, 6 out of the 10 people are startup owners, and it's great to see that. Obviously, we as youth would have very limited contribution to the overall financial economy, but then obviously it's a great start to have. Wherein 10 years down the line, 11, 15 years back, when someone would be asked, a student or let's say someone of an age of 20, that what do you want to become? The answers that we were getting was doctors, pilots, etc. So now I think even if you want to pursue anything in any aspect, we now see lawyers getting into business. We now see young professionals, company secretaries who want to start their entrepreneurial journey, which is great to see. Uh, yeah,
Disturbance. Please continue.
no worries, no worries. So yeah, I mean, that's what my feeling is, that once at least in a lifetime, a youth or someone who's under 30 or under 35 should attempt for having a different out of the box mindset, or attempting something which is not traditionally done in the country. And then we have people like Elon Musk. We've got people who are making a difference there, and they are not about 70 years old or 80 years old. These guys started their journey at about 17, 16. So that's what, and these guys are not just contributing to just the financial aspect globally. They are contributing to various directions. On renewable energy, they are contributing to charity. They are contributing to various aspects which a businessman, a mature businessman, or let's say an entity which does close to about a unicorn basically in India would do. Everything of that sort, these people are also sort of engaged into. So I believe age is just a number. We can start as early as 15, or the mindset even starts with 7 or 8 years old, and that's what parents need to take care that the children that they are bringing up have a mindset of contributing significantly. Now, I'll give you a brief example of what my mindset was when I started this platform. Now, I'll get you back to how we started. I'll first set context by telling you where we are right now. So I run a platform which basically has close to about 800 crore rupees of investments in it. And we started with as small as 25, 26 lakh rupees 3 years back, where we were getting smaller, investors who were not being able to invest sizable money and earn out of it. So we thought of bridging the gap between the retail investors or the smaller investors and the larger investors, which you can assume as institutional grade investors, which have capital upwards of 100 crores to deploy. We realize that there is a gap where the youth or the younger fraction of the country wants to capitalize, wants to have a passive income, wants to have a sustainable future ahead, where they keep on working on whatever they are, and even if when they're sleeping, the money is growing. So that's how we started a fund wherein every investor would be called a fractional owner, and they would put in a piece of their wealth into our fund, which we will be investing on the basis of our mindset or our philosophy. We've delivered upwards of about 18-19% to our investors, which is significantly high, as we had no track record in the beginning. So yes, the point that I'm trying to make here is the youth or the younger society in India is willing to take a risk, is willing to look beyond a salary, or looking at having a very sustainable future in life. So with that, we are seeing a shift in the society. I could have sort of made a presentation where I could have given you all this GAN with the slides sticking in and moving out. But then I don't really think that that is how the learning should be. It should be with experience. It should be with real life examples, which basically would sort of inspire you guys also to take, a very motivated and an encouraging step towards a sustainable future, which is just not climatic, but also a globe or a country or a nation or a space where everyone has a piece of wealth. Everyone is sort of having a space of their own. So that's what my contribution is to the growth of sustainable development.
That was really a nice point of view while taking towards the future, while talking about the future here in India. And a number of students of ours would be looking towards the same. Like, if anyone have some questions, can ask Mr. Anurag Sharma about the investments and what future you can look at in the future towards more efficient ways of investing in the market right now.
Ma'am, I can't hear you. I think your mic is on mute.
Just a second, she'll ask something.
Okay, sir, I hope I'm audible. Very good
Yes,
morning to
yes,
you and
you are.
happy youth stay to you. Would like to ask what is the scope for we teachers in case, along with our this respective job, we want to invest in some things.
Absolutely. I mean, just because I run a fund, I wouldn't really force my mentality on every one of you. You
Mm-hmm.
The first step that I think I would recommend to everyone, irrespective of the age where you are or the profession where you're in, spend some
Correct.
time on resourcing yourself. Spend some time
Right.
on reading about where and what are the current scenarios in the country or a global level. For example, about 6 or 7 years back, mutual funds was considered very risky, or share trading
Okay.
was considered very risky. The literature available at that point of time was also very cautious on recommending how the investment journey should be. So hence the other avenues started picking up. Then came a family level investing where 10 people in the family started investing together. And eventually, as the avenues in the market grew, just from share trading or mutual funds or SIPs, other avenues also opened up. So my recommendation would be to just
Okay.
go out on the internet and build a SEO for yourself. When I say
Explore.
SEO, I
Explore. Right.
basically understand what all avenues are there. There are plenty.
Mm-hmm.
As low as 500 rupees to 5 lakh rupees in a single ticket. uh,
Correct.
your cost of capital bare minimum should be about 8 to 10%. It should not ideally be remaining at 6 or 7%, which an FD yields you. Because looking at a 6.5% of inflation right now, settling
Mm-hmm.
with a 7% score or a 8% score on your capital isn't really great.
Right.
So that's how I would
Okay.
advise you to take your
We'll
first step.
definitely look into it and we'll think of investing. Thank you so much for the inputs. Thank you.
Now, I would like to ask you a question, Anurag, sir. It is about, we look at real estate nowadays as, somewhat we believe that real estate is good. So, how do you think that if I have to choose in between real estate and silver or gold, what
Hmm.
should be the preferred commodity that has to be invested?
So Jasjit, I'll address your question in two aspects. Basis number one, if you are an Indian citizen where you're sitting in a country which is developing and developing really fast, vis-a-vis if you're sitting in China or you're a citizen of US. In that case, those countries have already developed. The infrastructure is yes coming in those countries as well, but not to the tune of how fast India is growing. So for a country like India, or for the people who are sitting in India, the ideal investment choice for me, as per my understanding, should be real estate. Now, into real estate, there are different ways of investing. It's just not buying a plot or buying an apartment or buying a shop would yield you return. You can start with investing into REITs. The REITs is basically real estate investment trust, which are simply like a mutual funds where you can start investing as low as 500 rupees. These products also give you monthly returns, wherein you also get rental out of the full portfolio and have a passive income to yourself. Apart from REIT, you also have opportunities where you can invest into sharing, for example, a fractional ownership, where you don't have the capital of buying a full asset by your own. So you can sort of put in money spread across multiple owners. So there are multiple avenues lined up on the internet, which now SEBI is also taking into account. And allowing the retail investors to participate with as small as, let's say, what 1 lakh rupees, people can start investing into real estate.
I'm just receiving one more question
Sure.
from our faculty. Just give me a second, sir. Mm, Now, as we are looking towards gold only, like in India, we believe, as per our youth, is very lured towards the gold. So, how do you think that should we start investing in gold or gold bonds?
Ideally, what I would recommend is that number one, gold is a terrific and a very liquid asset class to invest into. The investment ecosystem works on a reward to risk ratio. The higher the risk, the higher the margins are, or the higher the returns are. When you're buying gold, there are very limited chances that you could incur losses. At the same time, when you have very limited chances of losing your money, there is also very limited upside on it. Where the moment you buy gold, you would day one, if you're buying a hard gold, then on day one, you have to incur a write of 10% of its value because that is what will go down whenever you go and sell it back in the market. If, let's say, you're buying jewelry, is what I'm trying to say. Now, rather than investing through that channel, there are various, avenues where you can still invest into gold without, or let's say, having a higher probability of making money. There's sovereign bonds. There is, even if you want to have gold, physical gold at your place, there are, gold. I wouldn't really say jewelers, but there are banks who lend you gold to keep it with you, and then you can sort of give them back a little later and making a margin on the price at which you took the gold in. The best and the easiest way of investing into gold, in my opinion, would be gold sovereign bonds, where government comes out with stacks of gold. You can sort of keep some to yourself, and that's also the money that you're making. Part of it is also tax free, so you don't really have to buy hard gold to invest into gold.
Right, right. Now, as we are celebrating National Youth Day, what kind of thinking, as you told earlier as well, but I would like to ask when you were studying in your bachelor's, because we have number of students from the bachelor's who are attending this session. So, what
Hmm.
should they do? Like, should they move towards the, investing somewhere or doing a startup, or should
Sure.
they study more on that part? What are the important parts that a youth should follow? Should they gain skills moreover, or should they just run towards the market and learn from the
Sure.
practical examples, or whoever they are looking up to?
Sure. So number one, I'm not sure which strategy is ideal in this scenario, but I can just simply give you the strategy that I sort of held on to, which really made me, decent amount of profits, and that is something which I started when I was in college. Everyone, in my opinion, gets, or more or less has a pocket income. If, let's say, they're not earning anything, a pocket income of net 5,000 rupees a month of savings is what is possible for any individual. If not 5,000 rupees, at least 1,000 rupees saving would be there. In that case, I would recommend that you start investing into SIPs. A very very random example that I would give you, when I started my journey of, this is factual information. I started, my first salary was close to about 30,000 rupees, where I started cutting down 30% of it and putting it into an SIP. Now, as and when I grew myself in the industry and I went through different compensation roles, my that SIP stack of 10,000 rupees a month was always there. In no time, obviously, time must have gone in that, but then I didn't realize that I've come out, and I've adjusted myself to a minus 10,000 rupees of income already, and that in just 5 years or 5.5 years got me to a bare minimum cash flow or a corpus of about 10 lakh rupees that I wasn't even aware of. So these are some of the investments which you can start at a very very early stage. However, in terms of choosing where you're investing, you should take a professional advice, and there is a lot of literature available on the internet. There are apps, there are companies who are either in free educating you or taking a bare minimum of about 300 rupees or 400 rupees to give you an understanding of how to look at investment cycle, or how to pick the avenues where you should invest. It's not that tough. It's just taking the first step is the biggest step, and then subsequently it's just a cakewalk. You don't even have to look at investing regularly, because you've put yourself on an autopilot where the money is getting deducted at some date of the month, and then getting automatically invested in the best share or best mutual funds possible. So for that, you need to, at least on day one, do your research properly, and then things would work out eventually for you.
Very well. I guess they have got their answer. Also, now we would be ending this session soon. So, if there are any other inputs, we have discussed a lot of things. All of the
Yeah,
topics that we were looking for this webinar have been covered.
yeah.
So, any other like
The
any other
most
points that you?
important, the most important thing which I would sort of recommend each one of you, irrespective of where you are in your age, or let's say the profession, or let's say the net worth of your own, do start your investment journey with at least a health insurance and a term insurance that is for your sustainable future, so that whatever you save in life, you don't lose it. Or let's say, even if you're not there anymore, your family has a brighter future. So as a professional, I can give you 100 avenues where you can invest and make a passive income, but that is always my second advice. That's not my first ever. My first one would always be getting yourself insured for life and for health. So start doing that is what I would recommend. And because I'm talking to a younger age people, these investments would be very, very cheaper for you if you start them now. If you start picking up these investments, let's say when you're 35, 40, 45, you'll have to end up paying double the amount of what ideally you can accommodate right now.
Exactly. That was one of the wisest advice I've heard in a longer time, that we should invest in our health and life for our better future, because we'll be very much sustained at the time of when we grow to the age of 35, and
Yeah,
we'll be age of 35. Yes, I
correct.
also believe the same. That was such a good input. I've asked other students if they have questions, but as I've not received, so I think this would be the end of our session on growth of Indian youth towards sustainable and efficient future. And it was a good one, that we got to know that where to invest, how to, plan your things. So I'm very much happy that this session was one fruitful session to learn about the investments and entrepreneurship and taking risks as we are still young. So
Yeah,
I would thank all of the participants firstly, and all the teachers, all the faculty of Geeta Ratan International Business School who have joined us for this session, all of the students as well. Now, I thank you, Mr. Anurag Sharma, for taking out some time out of your very busy schedule at YSEX, so that you could give us some insights on this National Youth Day
absolutely.
celebration.
No, so I mean,
And
I'm
I
glad
believe
to
we'll be
have
connected.
been given an opportunity to be here. Jasjit, you can share my email address with the students who would want to take some advice in future and whenever required on investments, or how to lead a sustainable financially sustainable life. Happy to sort of help anyone in that case.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Anurag Sharma. I'll surely share your LinkedIn as well as your email ID to the
Yes.
students and the faculties who would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Anurag Sharma. It was really nice meeting you after so long,
Yeah,
and we'll connect sometime.
absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jasjit, and
Right.
thank you everyone. Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.